quiver tip choice is so important, and especially when we're talking about what I'm doing today. We're coming into the cold water season now, and the water temperature's dropping, the clarity of the water is getting higher and higher, and for that reason your quiver tip choice is so important, because the fish habits change. As the water temperature drops, fish don't move around as much in your swim. So choosing the right tension quiver tip is really important, especially, as I already said, with what I'm doing today, which is braid fishing at a reasonable distance, at a medium distance of 40 meters. So in my hand here, I've got 3 quiver tips which come with the rod which I'm using, which is a 1/2 ounce, a 3/4 ounce, and a 1 ounce. Now, in the winter time, you want to read what fish are in your peg and how they're feeding. And in order to achieve that, I would always opt for the softest tip possible if the conditions allow me to. And that enables me to read what fish are in my peg, but how they're actually taking the bait. And often, when the water temperature's cold and getting even colder as we're going into the winter months, the fish move so in small amounts in your peg. Your setup has to be right, but also using the right tension quiver tip allows you to read even the shyest of bites, which could often be the biggest of fish because they are not moving with your hook bait. So today I'm using the 1/2 ounce quiver tip. Now, a lot of your quiver tip choice also comes from the conditions that you're faced with. Today it's perfect. I've got the wind off my back, therefore there's very little tow, especially on these natural big open waters. However, if there's a crosswind, then the tow increases, especially with braid, because braid sits higher up in the water and is prone to catching that water movement a little bit more. That is where choosing the right quiver tip and stepping up maybe to a 0.75 or even a 1 ounce to accommodate all the elements you have to combat in order to read what's going on in your swim, so to speak. Yet at the same time, you want to read the bite and also hook the fish. Whereas in the summertime, actually using a stiffer tip is more advantageous for this style of fishing, where you're getting loads of bites and indications, because you actually then use the tension of the quiver tip to hook the fish. So you can imagine in the summertime, when the fish are moving a little bit more, there's a higher colour in the water, they feed more confidently, they move away with your bait more confidently, the quiver tip actually hooks the fish itself. But in the winter, always go down the route of fishing the finest quiver tip to help you, the angler, read what's going on in your peg a lot quicker than using a stiffer tip.